Hey everyone, welcome back. Now, if you're joining me today, I know you're a focused learner. You're someone who really wants to cut through all the everyday noise and get straight to the core of what it actually takes to take back control of your life. So today, we're walking through an explainer that completely demystifies mental strength. We hear so much chatter about the law of attraction and mastering the mind, but actually doing it consistently, well, that is incredibly difficult. So today we're going to break down the actual, practical, actionable steps you need to stop being a victim of your surroundings and start truly commanding your own reality. Okay, let's just dive right into our roadmap for today. We'll be starting with the modern mental drain, then we'll uncover the sheer power of the subconscious and see exactly how thoughts become things. After that, we'll outline actionable steps to build real mental strength and ultimately, how to master your environment. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the modern mental drain. Everyday chaos. Look, if you're constantly feeling overwhelmed, exhausted, or just kind of mentally scattered, I really want to validate that for you right now. We are living in a modern world that is objectively chaotic. Just think about this list for a second. Social media, Wi-Fi, piling bills, environmental toxins, your smartphone literally buzzing in your pocket all day, alcohol, sugar. We tend to just brush these off as normal parts of the daily grind, right? But from a developmental standpoint, these modern challenges seem literally designed to drain our energy. They keep us stuck in this perpetual state of disempowerment, reactivity, and fear. You're basically bleeding mental energy all day long, and you probably don't even realize it. And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates why we need a little bit of tough love today, which is perfectly captured by the Indian philosopher Krishnamurti. Building a genuinely strong mindset, it requires serious, practical discipline over a long period of time. It's a huge mistake to think the law of attraction is just some magic wand, or that doing a quick 5-minute meditation is going to instantly cure all your struggles. It won't. True mental strength absolutely requires self-reliance. You have to stand alone. It's not just wishful thinking, guys. It is rigorous discipline. Moving right along to Section 2, Power of the Subconscious, the mind's supercomputer. This is where we get into the hard science of why we feel so completely stuck, even when our conscious intentions are in the right place. Now, what's really wild here is the sheer scale of the imbalance. 95% of your daily activity is completely subconscious. Just think about that for a second. You aren't consciously driving the ship for most of the day. It's kind of like typing. If you tried to be consciously aware of every single keystroke as you type an email, your progress would literally grind to a halt. Your subconscious is the one running the show behind the scenes. Let's actually compare the processing power here because it's fascinating. Your conscious mind can hold on to maybe 5 to 9 pieces of information at any given time. That's it. Meanwhile, your subconscious mind is this gigantic roaring supercomputer, and it's being bombarded with and filtering through 2 million bits of data every single second. 2 million! It has stored literally everything that has ever happened to you. And this proves exactly why relying on conscious willpower alone fails so often. I mean, you can't fight a supercomputer with a cheap little pocket calculator, right? So, the crucial point is summarized beautifully by Carl Jung here. If the vast majority of our lives are driven by the subconscious, then it logically follows that we absolutely must learn to manipulate that subconscious computer if we want to change our lives. If we don't, well, it's just going to silently direct your every move, and you'll end up shrugging your shoulders and calling it fate. Okay, Section 3, Thoughts Become Things. Projecting our truth. The basic premise of a lot of esoteric schools of thought, and even some concepts in quantum mechanics, is that the thoughts programmed into us all the way back in childhood actually determine our everyday reality. We project these inherited thought patterns onto our surroundings, and then we mistakenly believe that those projections are the absolute truth. And honestly, this is a big reason why meditation is recommended across almost all times and cultures. It's not just about relaxing. Practices like meditation actually allow you to calmly step back and objectively observe these conditioned, programmed thought patterns without instantly reacting to them or getting tangled up. When you can see your own mind objectively, that's when you begin to step into your true autonomy. You realize, wait a minute, I can actually uninstall this bad code and reinstall completely different beliefs. Which brings us to Section 4, Building Mental Strength. Actionable Steps. All right, it's time to pivot our narrative away from the abstract mental theories and get into the highly practical physical actions required for real change. So how do we actually pull this off? Well, we start with the physical. Writing out your goals for an exercise routine might seem incredibly basic, sure, but tracking the fundamentals of exercise and diet provides incredibly valuable insights into our hidden behaviors. Honestly, they are the two foundational building blocks that real mental strength is built upon. Because let's be totally honest with ourselves here.
You cannot become a Zen master of your mind while staring blankly at a TV and stress eating ice cream on the couch. It is just not realistic. So many people think they can just magically manifest what they want instantly. But the harsh reality is that you might have spent the last 30 or 40 years actively anti-manifesting. Think about it: focusing on stress, eating garbage, staying in toxic relationships, clinging to limiting beliefs. Undoing decades of anti-manifesting habits requires some very serious vigilance over what you're consuming.
Let's look at how this builds into an actual real-world experiment you can try. Try going on a really strict diet for just 1 week. Just 1 week. And when you inevitably fail or cheat, because you probably will, I want you to observe exactly when and why it happened. You'll likely recognize that it wasn't a sudden failure of willpower. Simply walking into a specific shop or entering a certain restaurant triggered you to act instinctively and buy something unhealthy. In other words, your conscious mind didn't fail you. Your environment dictated your behavior.
And that leads perfectly into Section 5, Master Your Environment. Control your space.
Listen, if your subconscious is reacting to the world around you and your environment determines your behavior, then you must aggressively manipulate your environment if you want to succeed. Here are some rapid-fire environmental control tactics you can use today. Clean your room. Clean your office. Heck, clean out the junk files on your computer. Eliminate cable television. Switch off your phones at night. Let go of hoarded items. Just send them straight to the trash heap to free up fresh mental energy. Seriously limit your exposure to advertising. You want to lean heavily into the concept of minimalism here, because by completely removing distractions, you are literally taking away the very opportunities your subconscious has to fail. There's this universal concept that the outer always reflects the inner, and it's so true. You can easily tell the state of someone's mind, or even their overall personality, simply by looking at the state of their bedroom. Is it obsessively neat, or does it look like an absolute disaster zone? By taking the time to aggressively organize the physical objects around you, you are directly organizing your internal mental energy. I want to leave you with this final, vital question to ponder as we wrap up this explainer. Remember, you are never truly immune to advertising or media. Every single time you perceive something, it leaves a footprint, a mental impression on your subconscious. Unless you actively switch off that TV and avoid those carefully designed spaces, you are a victim of that messaging. So, who is really programming your mind today? Is it you, consciously crafting your own environment, or are you just letting the modern world write the code? Take a really hard look at your surroundings today, clean up your physical space, and start taking your mind back.